te lo dirò. Colà dove rispetti un cuore ingrato, più far non può, più far non può. Cocente poco ma si fugge, ti lascia star, ti lascia star. E no, e ti corri appresso, non ti struggi a riguardar, a riguardar. Lesti, lesti, via vogliam di qua, lesti, lesti, via vogliam su là. Funiculi, funicula, funiculi, funicula, via vogliam su là, funiculi, funicula.
Good evening. Welcome. This is the Pantucci Tapes. My name is Anthony Pantucci, and we have a wonderful show for you today. We have on this show my lovely wife, Angela, who will be co-hosting with me, and we have the famous doctor of psychotherapy, Dr. Florence Popette, who will be joining us later. And now, I think I know what time it is, really. I think it is time for Pantucci News. This is Pantucci News time, and welcome. Pantucci News, this Saturday. In Scarsdale, New York, last night, 2 Jewish female psychotherapists fatally shot each other to death. According to the police, Dr. Gilda Goldstein and Dr. Bernice Schwartz were having a verbal dispute over a can of International Foods Swiss Mocha coffee when they both pulled their weapons and fired simultaneously. 3 NYU college students died yesterday when they attempted to speak French. Apparently, the 3 were in the middle of a series of vowels when their throats constricted and they died. Who writes this stuff? In Sweden last week, Dr. Sven Svensson, noted biologist, scientist, successfully breeded the world's largest chickens. The chickens average 6 feet tall and weigh, on the average, 400 pounds each. Dr. Svensson says that these birds can be identified by their giant peckers. Our next news item. On the educational front, this Saturday at 1 p.m., the New York City Home for the Criminally Insane will sponsor a career day at PS 114 in the Bronx. Seminars will include basket weaving, nail biting, and staring off into space. On the sports scene, here are the scores. In the NBA, 102 to 108, 113 to 111, 98 to 97. In hockey, 6 to 1, 4 to 3, 7 to 0. Must have been a good game. On the entertainment scene, famous French film star Gerard Depardieu will portray Pinocchio in the up-and-coming film Me and My Woody, due out this fall. And now, the news for this particular show is over. Now I would like to introduce you all, we don't need that anymore, to Pantucci's Video Review, which is a noted segment of the show, Video Review, okay? Let's go over some of the video reviews here. Our #1 video of the week is The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews. This film warmed my heart, and it gets a giant 3 Pantucci cannolis. Our next film of the week is The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford. Very exciting movie. However, being chased by the cops is no picnic, especially when you're being chased through the woods with dog do, snakes, and you get Lyme disease. What I think they should have done is had a chase down 42nd Street, maybe a police chase. I thought it was a very exciting movie. However, because there was no police chase, I would originally give this beautiful film 5 Pantucci cannolis, but because there is no chase, I will subtract 2, so this one gets a big, well, let's give it 5 cannolis anyway. What do you say? All right, so much for that. Number 3 video pick of the week is the old-time classic, Gone with the Wind, okay? What I want to know is, who the hell is Tara? And why does Scarlett want to always go back to her? I don't get it. The thing about this movie is that which charmed me, is that it took place in the South. And I come from the South, too. South Brooklyn. This one gets a big 2 Pantucci cannolis. All right. Number 4 video pick of the week is directed by Steven Spielberg. This film is Jaws. Very, very exciting movie. However, if that shark tried that kind of stuff at Coney Island, he'd have a lot of holes in him. You know, I don't think that this would be such a good idea for Mr. Shark over there. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the big 4 Pantucci cannolis only because it was pretty exciting, and I do like exciting water adventures. Number 4 video pick of the week, actually we just did that. This is number 5 video pick of the week, is The Firm, starring Tom Cruise as the poor abused lawyer. When was the last time that you saw a poor abused lawyer? Boo-hoo-hoo. Anyway, I'm very disappointed. I want to tell you why. I do not like the way that the mob was portrayed in this particular movie. Hollywood has a habit of portraying the mob as a bunch of extortionists and murderers, okay? They act like extortion and murder is a negative thing. This piece of garbage, I don't know, it gets half a Pantucci cannoli. All right? Now, that ends the video review section of our show. Now, here's a section that I like to get to. Lots of people have been writing the Pantucci tapes, which is on every Monday at 6 o'clock on Channel 16. And they write to me, Anthony, and they ask me questions. And I found some very interesting letters here. The first letter is from Jerry Ann Macadamia from Miami Beach, Florida. Dear Anthony, look, she puts little hearts all over. That's cute. Love the show. Hey, thanks. Here's the question. Can a wife be forced to turn state's evidence on her husband? Sincerely, Geraldine Macadamia. No way, okay? A wife cannot be forced to turn state's evidence against her husband, okay? When I was married to my lovely wife, Angela, we made vows to love, cherish, and never rat. So the answer to that is no, okay? My next letter comes from Rubella Finkelstein in Scarsdale. Dear Anthony, she writes, my precious daughter Rubella wants to become a cheerleader. The only problem is that she weighs 400 pounds, and I'm worried about her getting hurt. What should I do? Sincerely, Harriet Finkelstein. Dear Harriet, it's okay for your daughter to be a cheerleader. The only thing, if she weighs 400 pounds and they're doing the pyramid thing, make sure she's on the bottom, okay, so nobody gets hurt. My last letter is from Bill Smithers in Los Angeles, California. Dear Mr. Pantucci, I recently took a flight on Pantucci Airlines, and several of the stewardesses propositioned me with an offer of sex in exchange for money. What the hell kind of airline are you running? Sincerely, Bill Smithers in Los Angeles, California. I do run Pantucci Airlines. Dear Bill, you snuck into first class, didn't you? I can tell those things, you know. Okay, that ends our letter section for the show for today. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to introduce on the show, for the first time ever, my lovely, lovely wife, who I personally refer to as Muffin Cake, Angela Pantucci. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you very much, Tony.
This is my lovely wife, Angela. She saw the show. Let's light together, shall we? Come on. You know, you have to enjoy activities with your wife on basically a daily basis, you know. My wife is my love. She's my pumpkin, and I love her dearly. She also happens to be the owner of several businesses that she owns all by herself, and they were not financed by organized crime, by anybody. She paid for them entirely with funds that were accumulated in a legitimate basis. Isn't that right, sweetie?
Yes, that's right. I own Angela's Nailorama in Canarsie. So all of you girls that you want the beautiful nails, you come by. I take care of you.
She'll take good care of you. Now, me and Angela, like any married couple, have been having, not problems, because we certainly don't have any problems, but we have a guest on the show today that I would like to introduce you to. She is the author of this book, okay? This is a very interesting book that she's the author. This book is called Women Who Love Men and the Men Who Love Women and How to Enjoy Loving Them Without Unloving Yourself. which is a very wonderful book. I enjoyed it myself. I read the whole
Wonderful.
thing. Cover to cover. What did you think of this book, darling?
Well, I thought it was good, but there was too many words.
Too many big words. I didn't understand many of the big words, but you do what you can. Anyway, welcome to the show, Dr. Papette.
Pleased to meet you.
Her name is Florence Papette. Welcome.
What kind of papa are you? A Saint Bernard?
Hey, Angela, this is a guest. I apologize for my pumpkin cake.
Excuse me.
Sometimes, she gets a little out of hand, but I can control that because, I'm the man in the family. Anyway, Dr. Papette, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're very, very welcome. Now, you are a licensed psychotherapist, is that correct?
Yes, I am. I actually have a master's and a PhD in psychotherapy. I got my PhD in family and marital problems.
Really? I got my PhD in nail and hair in Brooklyn. Very wonderful place.
And you know something? PhDs are very hard to get. I had to pay a lot of money for hers, Anyway, Dr. Papette, are you a Papette of the Boston Papettes?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, I have a question for you.
Certainly.
Me and my wife decided to have a psychotherapist on the show, preferably a PhD, an educated person, because we want to know if we're a typical happy couple. How do you decide what's a typical happy couple?
Well, it's very difficult when people use labels like typical because everyone's different. Everyone has a different kind of relationship. The relationship that you and Angela may have together may be completely different, for example, the relationship that I may have with someone else. So it's not always a good idea to compare yourself to other couples, but to decide if there are healthy and unhealthy things in your relationship.
That makes a great deal of sense, doesn't it, sweetheart?
I'm very healthy. I work out every day.
She walks out
That's
of
good,
the door
but
every day.
that's physical health, Angela. We're talking about mental and stable well-being.
Stable, like the horse is stable you're talking about?
It depends on the individuals we're talking about, Angela.
Then you must be talking about Tony.
I'm curious, though, how exactly did the two of you meet?
Muffin cake?
Well, you see, we was both 17, and I was going to my car. At the time, I had a little red Camaro, and I see this guy with a crowbar trying to get into my car. So I went and got my daddy, and I said, "Hey, Dad, go see what this guy is up to." So I went up to him, and he said, "Hey, punk, what are you doing? I break in your face, or you marry my daughter?" So we got married.
Well, I have a different scenario here. What happened was, excuse me, I don't think we need this anymore. What happened was, I wasn't breaking into a car. You understand me, doctor. What was happening, see, is I thought it was my car. I have a 68 Camaro with fins and Roland Tuck leather upholstery, a real cream puff. And her father, or her car actually, was a very similar make as to mine. So I thought it was mine, and I got in.
Except that mine is red and his is white.
So I'm curious, the decision to go into marital counseling, do you each feel that you just want a reality check, or you each feel that there's a problem that needs to be solved?
Well, I check reality every morning when I wake up, and they say, "Hey, am I married to this man or what?"
Well, reality, you say? Reality? What was the question again?
Anthony, do you feel that you and your wife have a healthy marriage, or do you find that there are any problems?
Well, we eat grapefruits. At least, once every 2 weeks we eat a grapefruit together. So we're pretty healthy, yeah.
I noticed you calling Angela a little pet name. Do you have any other names for one another?
Oh, yeah. I call her Muffin Cake,
Dumbhead,
Sweetie Pie,
pea brain,
Angel Face,
knucklehead,
my little darling Sugar Plum.
imbecile.
I see. I noticed, Angela, that you have a little hostility towards Anthony. Mightn't this be because of the nature of your relationship?
Nature. Who wants to go into nature? You get all sweaty and there's dog do all over the place. I don't do nature. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm curious because of the fact that your father basically...
Listen, we're not bringing my father into this. Do you understand? Angelo D'Angelo is a very honest man. That's all I gotta say.
Man of respect, if you
That's
catch my
right.
drift. I mean, not that he's like doing anything illegal. He's a strict, legitimate businessman like myself. He owns several businesses, you know, throughout the neighborhood, and he disperses love and tenderness throughout the neighborhood. You know, he never did any violence to anybody. So don't listen to the papers.
Mm. Well, I'm curious what reaction you had to the book.
I read the book. Didn't you read the book?
Yeah, I read the book. I read it last night. What are you talking about?
Well, I'll give you some of my comments on the book. I thought the book was very nice. I especially liked the opening part. The opening part was very precise. It was good. It was very good reading. I enjoyed it a lot. However, you used the word relationships a lot. But I don't know what a real relationship is. I mean, you know, could you explain to me what a real relationship? A relationship.
A relationship is frequently when two individuals share a commonality. It's like having a treaty between two individuals, like two separate countries who are going to decide somehow to have a common boundary.
We have common boundaries?
Only when we're in bed. That's about it.
Well, we relate, too, very well. You know, when I first met this lovely woman, she was worried about my business, you know, because when we first met, I had a few injuries. You know what happened, like in my line of business. My legs were broken once. I had a broken collarbone over here. Somebody smashed a flower pot over my head. Somebody ran me over with a Corvette. Somebody hit me with a crowbar. And that was just on our honeymoon.
That explains everything, doesn't it?
I'm curious, did each of you ever have any serious other relationships before you were joined as husband and wife?
Well, you see, I used to be involved with this guy named Vito, but then, you know,
Vito.
Anthony had to break his head.
I broke his head. I had relationships, they only lasted for an hour or two. They were very short. You know, we didn't really get into the more spiritual aspects of things. We basically just, you know, related, and then it was over, and we paid the money, and that was it.
So neither one of you feels threatened by your spouse's...
Threatened.
Well, what are you talking about, threatened? Who's talking about threatened?
Well, for example, Angela, you don't feel the slightest bit uncomfortable that Anthony has obviously been with several other women before he met you?
Honey, you can call them women if you want. I call them what I want to call them.
Okay. And Anthony, you are not at all affected by Angela's past conquests?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, everybody's entitled to sow their wild oatmeal, but the thing is that when she was younger, you see, she ran a little wild in the streets, which everybody does when they're younger, you know. I personally calmed her down. I taught her for respect. I taught her love and tenderness. We have a lot of love and tenderness. Before we went out, you know, I had a few toys, little plastic toys that I used. You know, but I don't use them anymore. I don't use them anymore.
Are you talking about marital aids?
No, not marital aids. I had a...
AIDS? No. We always use, you know, those little condom things. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we have a condominium. We have condominiums. Various states. I don't want to get into it too heavily.
Flo, who does your nails? Let me see your nails.
Well, first of all, it's Doctor. I'd appreciate if you call me Doctor.
Dr. Flo, listen. You come by to me and we'll make a little appointment because, darling, those nails, really, they gotta go.
Yeah, you know, it's a professional hazard, I suppose. I try and concentrate on my work. Sometimes, you know, some people feel that appearances aren't everything, Angela.
Really? But this week we got a special. I happen to be an artist, and we're doing different scenes from Elvis Presley's movies on your nails. I do all the airbrushing myself.
Quite beautiful, I might add. Well, now a question that I have for you. I mentioned plastic toys before. And I have a question for you because I was a little concerned about this. Before I met her, I had a doll. It was a blow-up doll. I used to take on dates. She didn't say much, you know. She just stood there with her mouth open at dinner. She didn't say all that much, but you could blow her up. And what happened was this was much before I met you, sweetheart, muffin cake.
I'm sure it was.
But I took her out on a date. I called her Mary. And Mary, I took her out on a date. We parked. and I nibbled on her neck, and then I bit her on the neck, and she farted and flew out the window.
So do you feel this has stunted you?
No, I'm 6'2".
Mentally stunted you?
Well, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned because she always brings that up. I feel that we've grown apart in the last few months. You know, our relationship has taken a few turns. It made a left, and then it made a right, and then it went straight for a while, and then it did like a zigzag thing, and then it went straight for a while, and then it dipped, okay? And then we went over like this bridge, and that's sort of like where our relationship is at this point, you know.
So go back to the beginning where the first incident occurred, where you felt that your paths were starting to take opposite directions.
That must have been when Vinny was born. Do you have kids?
No, I do not.
You don't. It's too bad, because you try to pass a bowling ball between your legs, and then you'll know what I'm talking about.
And what are you talking about, Angela?
I'm talking about the child birthing process.
Okay, and this relates to what we were talking about, or do you just...
Of course.
Okay. This somehow you're having a baby was one of the turns that your relationship took? How old is your child?
He's 17.
Vinny, little Vinny. We were married very young, you know. Our marriage was one of the best things that ever happened to me, you know, that I couldn't control. And the thing is that it was a lovely experience for both her and both me alike.
Oh, yeah, it was lovely for you.
And, yeah.
I'm noticing a certain unevenness in the level of emotion that each of you are bringing to the table. Angela, are you happy in your marriage?
I'm happy. Yeah, sure. I'm happy every time I walk out of the house.
I see. So what exactly would you change if you could have the ideal day, Angela? What would it be?
Well, I wake up in the morning and I go and I work out, and then I go and I open up my nail salon and I do nails all day.
Okay. I noticed though in your perfect day you didn't really spend any time with Anthony here.
Exactly.
So I'm curious why you're married to Anthony if he's not really an integral part of your happiness.
Because my father told me I had to marry him.
I see.
You know what, though? I still remember our wedding vows. Ever to this day, I still remember our wedding vow that we said in unison on our wedding day. Angela, muffin cake.
I hereby declare and most solemnly state that you I will love, 'cause you are so great. You fill me with tears through melancholy years and brighten my day. Hey, you're the only one for me, 'cause you're out of sight. I'll respect you forever and promise not to fight.
Right. Beautiful.
Really lovely. You wrote that yourself?
Yep, except that he only wrote the words that were 3 letters long.
I see.
Brings tears to my eyes.
Now, Angela, I'm curious, have you ever felt a certain intense emotion other than anger towards Anthony?
No.
So if your father, for example, broke your contract, your marriage contract...
Instead of my
What
legs.
are you talking about, contract?
Would you choose to end your relationship with Anthony?
Never.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
And this is because...
I'd be a dead man.
Because we've been together since we were 17.
17, that's a very tender age to be together since. Right, Mom?
So you must obviously get some satisfaction out of your relationship.
I told you, every time I walk out the door.
Okay. Anthony, perhaps we can get somewhere with your story. What would be your perfect day, Anthony?
My perfect day? First of all, a long ride in my Camaro. We go visit some friends. We'd make some collection. We would just, you know, do some business, whatever. Then we go out. We get a slice. Maybe, what I like to do is I like to take it down to the wharf, okay, in Red Hook. We go down to the wharf in Red Hook and we dip our feet in the water, okay? It's a little dirty, so we got to take our shoes off first. Then we dip our feet in the water. Maybe I give out flour or something. Maybe I wear my best cologne. I wear Kennel No. 5, which is my favorite scent. She loves it, you know. And then at the very end of the day, we go back home and love each other tenderly.
I see. So a lot of your day would be spent with Angela. I'm noticing a certain incompatibility in your two stories here.
Incompatibility? Incompatibility? Oh, something different.
I don't think so.
Well, then I guess there's not a problem, is there, Angela?
I don't think there's a problem. Listen, Flo, I don't have a problem. Are you married, Flo?
No, I'm not.
Well, then obviously you cannot understand because you are not married.
I see. So all the years that I've studied on this topic obviously mean nothing because of the 17 years that you've spent in this marriage, this
Right.
charade that you call a marriage.
Charade.
Sherrod. Sherrod? Oh, Sherrod. He's an actor from Arabia or something. Yeah, I like him. He's good. He's
Yeah,
good.
we saw him in the movie the other night.
Yeah, Antonio Sherrod. He's good.
So I'm curious why you think there's a problem if neither one of you are unhappy.
I'm happy.
I'm happy. I'm very, very happy.
She's happy too. She's my pumpkin cake, and I love her.
Would
Maybe
you
we
like a cigarette?
No, thank you. My doctor says I need to cut down on carcinogens. You've heard of them? Lung cancer.
Carcinogens. They're letting too many of them into the country these days. That's what I think.
And there's a
think
lot in
it's
this
illegal.
room.
Yeah.
I'm curious, your son you mentioned, your 17-year-old,
Vinny.
how does Vinny play into your relationship?
Oh, he's
Oh,
not
he
allowed
never
in the room.
plays.
He's not allowed in the room. He can't. That would be, you know, they do that down in South Carolina and stuff, but they don't do that here.
How do you spend time with your son?
Well, I take Vinny to school.
Oh, so he's still in high school.
Yes, he is. And then, that's it.
He's a lovely boy. And, you know, he's never been in trouble with the law, anything we couldn't handle. I have a great lawyer. His name's Bernard Schwartz. Hey, Bernard. See if you can do something about Vinny on next Tuesday. You know, he's an arraignment. But he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He never did anything bad. And he's a very well-spoken boy, you know. He likes to drive. He's a good kid. By the way, for those of you just tuning in, this is the Pantucci tapes. We have my lovely wife, Angela, here. And as a guest, we have a marriage therapist, I'm sorry, because there's only one. And her name, by the name of Dr. Florence Papette. Please continue, Dr. Papette.
Thank you. Would you consider having other children?
No. One is all that we can handle. You know what I'm saying? Because I already saw what one turned out with a man like him, so that's it. We don't have any more kids.
You know, I just want to say, Dr. Papette, thank you very much for coming. You know, or however you reacted. It was a lovely day. It was a lovely day. I had a great time. Thank you, Angela. You're my darling, and I love you. You're my muffin cake. She's my favorite muffin in the entire world. Dr. Florence Papette here is the greatest psychotherapist in the history of psychotherapy. And I want to thank them both for coming on the Pantucci tapes today. Thank you very much. We're glad to have everybody.
Dove rispetti un cuore ingrato, più far non può, più far non può. Cogente poco ma si fugge, ti lascia star. E no, e ti corri appresso, non ti struggi, a riguardar, a riguardar. Lesti, via vogliam di qua, lesti, via vogliam su là, funicula, via vogliam su là, funicula. Lesti, via vogliam su là, lesti, via vogliam su là, funicula, via vogliam su là, funicula.